According to multiple reports, the Huskers have hired a quarterbacks coach. Glenn Thomas is his name. He comes from the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he served as an offensive assistant, and Matt Rule knows him well. Thomas was on Rule's staff at both Baylor and Temple, where he served as offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. He'll be tasked with developing a talented young quarterback room for the Huskers, headlined by five-star signee Dylan Raiola and Bellevue West product Daniel Kalin. Marcus Satterfield remains as Huskers OC, but will shift to coaching the tight ends. Nebraska quarterbacks gave up a staggering 25 turnovers last season.